If you give me just one chance to make almost any room feel more beautiful and more calming, I wouldn't touch furniture. I wouldn't repaint a single wall. I would change lighting. After years of designing and building homes, I am convinced that lighting is the most powerful tool we have and the one most of us get wrong. It's not that we don't care. Most of us simply were never taught how lighting actually works. We inherited whatever the builder put in, then we screw in whatever bulb was on the shelf, and we wonder why a room that we spend money on still feels a bit flat. So let's fix this together. Once you understand few simple things about lighting, you'll walk through your whole house differently, and you will feel the change the very same night. If we haven't met, I am Ariana Adireh Anderson. I design beautiful homes and my team builds them. So I stood in a lot of rooms right just as the light comes on for the first time. And I'll tell you, nothing decides whether the room feels beautiful or flat, warm or cold, calming or draining more than how it's lit. The wonderful news is that great lighting isn't about spending more. It comes down to a handful of simple ideas. And every single one of them makes our home both more beautiful to look at and better for how we actually feel inside. So let's go room by room, idea by idea, and light our home the way they deserve. Before we touch a single bulb, let's start with the most beautiful light in the whole house, the one that's completely free, daylight. Natural light is something no fixture can ever copy. It's soft, it's full, it shows off our colors and textures perfectly, and our bodies are built to run on it. So the first thing I always do in a home is protect natural light. Make the most of it. Let's keep our windows as open to the day as we can. Sheer curtains that soften the sun without blocking it. A mirror placed to bounce light deeper into a room that doesn't get much of it. Even keeping the glass clean, which sounds simple, but even to mention, genuinely changes how the light pours in. And here's the wellness side of it. Getting real, natural daylight, especially in the morning, sets our body internal clock, lifts our mood, and helps us sleep better the same night. So before we think about bulbs and lamps at all, let's fall back in love with the light that already comes through our windows. When we build everything else around it for the hours after the sun goes down. Now, to the idea that changes a lot of things. Most of us light our room with a single source, one bright fixture in the middle of the ceiling, or maybe even a whole grid of recessed can lights marching across it. Designers even have a nickname for the grid. We call it switchy ceiling. And here's the trouble with lighting a room entirely from the above. All of the light pours down. It flattens everything out. It leaves our walls and our ceilings in shadows. And it drops this light shadow across everyone's eyes and nose, which is exactly why you can look tired standing under it. The fix is a single most important idea in all of the lighting, and it's genuinely the joy once you know it. We light in layers. Here are three of them. Ambient light, the soft general glow that fills the room and lets us move around safely. Task light, brighter, focused, right where we actually do things, like maybe a reading lamp beside a chair or a light tucked under the kitchen cabinets. The accent light, smaller torch light that lights up things we love, maybe a piece of art, a painting, a beautiful textured wall. When we stop asking one poor light fixture to do everything and let these three layers work together, a flat one-tone room turns into one with real depth, warmth, and life. That's right there is the whole secret of all. Once we have our layers, the next thing is the color of the light itself. And it matters far more than most people realize. Light has temperature, measuring it in what we call Kelvin. And it completely changes how a room could feel. Cooler, blue-white light, the kind that you will find in an office or a hospital, makes a room feel harsh and a little bit of clinical. Warm light, down around to 27,000 Kelvin to 3,000 Kelvin is that soft, golden, like a candlelight or the last hour of the sunset. That warm range is one I reach for the most in homes. And for two reasons. It's simply more beautiful. It makes our wood, our stone, our fabrics, even our skin look richer and more inviting. It feels better for us. Warm light is the evening actually supposed to do. The melatonin our body released used to wind down for sleep. And researchers at Harvard found that people fall asleep faster under the warm light than under the cool. One small thing while we are here that makes a big difference: let's keep our bulbs consistent. When one lamp glows warm and the next turns cold, the whole room will feel a bit off, even if we can't put our finger on it. So pick your warm tone and carry it all the way through all the rooms. And here's a hidden pattern to that warm that almost nobody talks about, but it might be my little favorite lighting secret of all. It's called CRI, Color Rendering Index. In plain terms, it's measure of how truly a light shows a real color of everything that we touch. On a scale that runs up to 100, it is completely separate from the warm or cool light. And here is why it matters so much. We can choose the most beautiful paint color, the perfect rug, a piece of art we absolutely adore, and when light it all with a cheap bulb that has a low CRI, then every one of those gorgeous colors goes flat and muddied. But a bulb with a CRI of 90 or above brings back all that life. The color gets its rich feel, the wood grains glow, our skin looks healthier and warmer, and it costs really not that much extra. Most people have simply never heard of it. So when we stand in a store choosing a light bulb, let's look at one number that is 90 or higher. If it is the difference between a room that looks beautiful and a room that will look dull, we would never once guess the light was the reason. Now, let's talk about one upgrade I would put in every single room of every single home if I could. Dimmers. A dimmer costs, well, not much, but we will have volume of how the room feels. A home doesn't need the same light all day long. In the morning, we want bright to energize and to help us wake up and get going. Over dinner, we want something that's softer and warmer. Now, late at night, low and gentle, so our bodies begin to understand that it's almost time to rest. Without a dimmer, we are stuck to a full brightness from the second we flip the switch on until the moment it is off. With one, the very same room can move us throughout the entire day, bright and alive to calm and collective whenever we want to be. Soft, low lighting in the evening also cuts the glare that tires our eyes and help our whole body relax. It is one of the least expensive changes on the entire list, and it might be the one you feel the most. With our dimmers in, here's a move that will instantly make any room feel more warmer and more welcoming. We bring the light down to where we actually want it to be. So much of our light comes from way up in the ceiling, but the lighting that makes a room feel warmer and human-like brings us closer. A table lamp, a floor lamp, a sconce on the wall that I will travel upwards. When we add pools of light down where we sit and gather and move, the whole room will feel more intentional, almost if it was wrapped in light. And one kind little rule that makes all of it more comfortable: we want to see the glow, never the bulbs. A shade, a piece of frosted glass, a fixture that's tucked behind out of the direct sight. That's the whole difference between warm and glow and harsh glare. Beautiful light is light you feel around you, not the light that's shining straight into your eyes. Here's a more technical one that might even surprise you. Big difference, and it is something that I ask about all the time. How high to hang our lights? If it's a pendant or a chandelier is hung at the wrong height. Even with a truly gorgeous one, the whole room will feel a bit awkward, and we usually can't say why. So here are some numbers I used, and you can write these down. Over a kitchen island, we want the bottom of our pendant or a chandelier to be about 30 to 36 inches above the counter. Over a dining table, a chandelier or a pendant should be around 32 to 36 inches above the tabletop. These are standard for an 8-foot ceilings. If the ceiling is higher, we simply raise a fixture a couple of inches. For that extra height, hang at the right height, the light does its job and the fixture will look intentional, like it always meant to be there, just to sit there exactly at the right height. It's a tiny detail and it reads expensive. Now let's walk into 2 rooms where the right light truly changes your day. Starting with the one almost everyone gets wrong, the bathroom. Think about where most of us put the light by the mirror. One fixture above it, or worse, couple of downlights in the ceiling. And when the light comes down only from above, it causes shadows straight down under our eyes, our nose, our chin. This is the light that makes us look tired and much older than we really want to be, especially first thing in the morning when we're trying to get ready for the day. The fix is what designers call a gold standard, and it's honestly a relationship the first time you will see yourself in. We light the face from the sides. A sconce or a light on each side of the mirror, around us, eye level. That cross light wraps around the whole face evenly. and it will ease those harsh lines completely. When we add a warm bulb with the right CRI, so our skin looks a true color and healthy, and a soft frosted glass, so there's no glare from that light. And I promise you will look and feel like a different person when you look in the mirror. That isn't vanity, it's simply light doing what light is supposed to do and was meant to do. The other room is our bedroom. Here's the rule almost flipped around. This is one room where I would be happy to skip for that overhead lighting altogether. When we want to end a long day in a low, warm, layered lighting, our lamps on both sides of our nightstands may be one of the golden choice that will create light evenly across the room. All of it, of course, on a dimmer. As soon as the evening winds down, the light winds down along with us, and our body get a clear sign that it's finally time to rest. Bright light for the morning, gentle gold light for the evening. Every room wants a kind of light that matches the light that's happening inside of it. And here's a lovely way to think about fixtures themselves. The best ones do two jobs at once. They give us beautiful light and beautiful objects even when they are switched off. I like to think of fixtures as jewels of the room. Sculpture, pendant over island, a pair of elegant sconces framing the mirror, a lamp with a base so beautiful that you will love to see it even if it's not on. These pieces bring personality and craftsmanship and a bit of spark to our mornings and to our nights. So when we choose them, let's love how they look on our ceilings, on our tables, as much as we love how they light our room. A room remembers a beautiful fixtures the way you remember a beautiful piece of jewel on someone. It finishes everything. And that brings us into a layer I think is pure joy. The one that turns the room from nicely lit into genuinely beautiful room. Lighting the things we love. This is our accent lighting. And it's where the light truly becomes an art. A small picture light over a frame painting, lighting upwards tucked behind leafy plant, throwing those shadows up in the ceiling and into the walls. A gentle glow inside a bookshelf or a glass cabinet. Those touches do something wonderful. They tell our eyes exactly where to look. They create depth and shadows and a bit of drama. These make our home feel considered, cared for, and if every beautiful thing in it is being celebrated. And that's the real reason the room that feels so good to stand in. There's a glowing science called neuroaesthetics. And it keeps finding the same thing. When we are in a space we find beautiful and harmonious, our nervous system actually settles. Our stress comes down. So lighting the things we love isn't only beautiful, it's part of what makes the home feel like a place where we can finally exhale. So here it all is. If we make most of our daylight, light our rooms with layers, keep our lighting warm and true to its color, the CRI, and put everything on dimmer, bring the glow down to where we live, hang your chandeliers at the right height, light our faces from both sides, make the moment to light the things we love. We end up with a room that feels more beautiful, more calming, and kinder to us. All of it is very the same. Remember what I said in the beginning. If you give me just one chance to make almost any room more beautiful and more calming, I would pick lighting. That's exactly why. It shapes how our room looks and how we feel inside of it, more than a lot of people will ever realize. And most of it, well, it's not a huge up cost. It just takes understanding of how light really works and which and how you do it. So here is what I would love. Pick one room this week and try one of those things. Maybe swap in a warmer light bulb with the proper CRI, add a downlight, put your main light on a dimmer, move the light on at your mirrors to the sides. Then come back and tell me in the comments which room you choose and how it felt when it was finally lit differently. Let's do this together. I read every single comment. Now, next time I'll talk to you about what we just learned about lighting and carried it into the kitchen, the hardest working room in the whole house, where lighting has its biggest job of all, and where we get it right and change how the entire house, the heart of the home will feel. I can't wait to share that with you. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.